Now, let us talk about something that I think will be in many conversations over the next decade, and that is artificial intelligence, or AI, and its impact on the world of acting. Last week, if you were listening here on OS, we spoke to actors about the AI actress Tilly Norwood. Yes, an actor that is AI, because actually we weren't quite sure of the gender there of Tilly. It's even been suggested that they could be the next Scarlett Johansson or Natalie Portman. These actors were very worried about it. And it's not just the actors we spoke to. The entertainment magazine Variety asked Emily Blunt whether she saw Tilly as a threat.
I don't know how to quite answer it other than to say how terrifying.
This is her, by the way, just in case you haven't seen her.
No. Are you serious?
Yes.
That's an AI.
Yes, that is a...
Good Lord. We're screwed. That is really, really scary.
And it's about to be signed.
That is really, really scary. Come on, agencies. Don't do that.
Initial thoughts, what are you, like, please stop.
Please stop.
Yeah, Emily Blunt was not very happy with that. As with any technological revolution, the rise of generative AI in the creative industry brings excitement and anxiety. Artists and industry professionals are divided. Some see it as a powerful tool for creativity, while others worry about the implications for human artistry and job security. Today, I've been speaking to John Gaeta, who's renowned for his Academy Award-winning work designing the visual effects for the Matrix trilogy and the groundbreaking innovation within cinema, interactive and immersive entertainment. We also spoke to Diane Laidlaw, who is an AI filmmaker and educator here in the UK, and Simon Rajala, who's an actor and filmmaker in Sweden. I asked them whether AI was a positive or a negative thing in their view. Here's John first.
I think there's plenty of legitimate concerns. We could go and talk about that endlessly as everyday people, with everyday concerns about what technology can do to our lives. But like anything, it's a double-edged sword. And the side of the sword that AI potentially enables free expression of new kinds and giving power of expression to people that have been constrained or restricted in the past, restricted by maybe financial resource or tech resource or even access and gatekeeping. AI is actually a fairly revolutionary enabler of new voices, in my opinion. So that'll be my first offering in the on the optimistic side of the conversation.
We like optimism here on the program. Dana, can I pick up on that point that we heard there from John about finances and money? Because AI allows us to do things more cheaply. And that is huge in what is an expensive industry, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I'm able to think of an idea on Friday and then by the Tuesday or Wednesday have that in fruition simply because there isn't this massive budget that I now have to think about in order to get my ideas out. So when it comes to finances, yes, it's making things a lot more accessible and cheaper for the everyday person like me and for the production companies which are also out there.
You are an AI filmmaker. What does that mean?
What that means is I basically make films using AI. There are some people who are solely AI, and there are some people who use a mixture of different medias. So they may do traditional filmmaking along with adding bits of AI as well. Me personally, I'm a person that just primarily uses AI.
Works pretty well for you?
Absolutely. I've won a couple of awards. I've had my work showcased in multiple places. I was able to lecture at Bergs University in Sweden, and I just done a TED Talk last week in Vienna. So yes, it's gotten me some places.
That sounds good. Simon, you're an actor. There was so much conversation about the AI-created actor and how dangerous that could be. Tell me as an actor how you can use AI positively.
I feel like there's so many different ways. Like for me personally, it's helped me a lot with the analytical side of my career and helped me lean in on my intuition. I think like I'm mostly working in theater first and foremost. So I feel like I'm in the business of exploring my intuition and then expressing that through my body. And AI has helped me to lean in more on that, so I can forget the analytical and research side that also comes with every production. So, for example, this Friday I had a premiere on Romeo and Juliet, and I'm playing Mercutio. And there was a quite challenging monologue called the Queen Mab monologue. And the director was pretty busy focusing on other things. And usually as an actor, you would be left by yourself in that case, unless the dramaturg has time for you. But even if the dramaturg or the director has time, they have a biased opinion, I would say. So in this case, I could use AI to give me context how this monologue works in the larger narrative and how it provides meaning for the rest of the narrative.
John, let's pick up on those points there that Simon raised, because you're someone who's been very successful, award-winning for your work in visual effects. People know you from The Matrix and what you did there. When you heard of this AI-created actor, Tilly Norwood, did you understand why people got so worried?
Look, I mean, let's if you start from The Matrix, a cautionary tale about people who are lost inside of a reality that is not their own. How is that a lot different than the issues that we're confronting today with the ways that we learn things and communicate things through social media platforms? It's just a completely different world since that movie came out, but kind of moving in a particular direction. But that said, AI is like a paintbrush, just like the camera and just like the computer. It is, in the context of expression, human expression, it is a new tool to express oneself. The same tools can be used for bad, right? There will be good and there'll be bad. You can use a camera to create propaganda movies against the interest of good people, and on and on we can talk about it. But you can use the same camera to create a work of art that inspires and moves people. In the beginning of these things, you're going to see a lot of gimmicks, right? Things that catch attention. You could make the same case about, teens in Korea following, game characters or, V stars, virtual stars on YouTube. There's going to be all sorts of manifestations of persona and personality that are not necessarily human made. The thing to really think about, though, is like what resonates with the human being. The audience are humans, right? This media, let's call it. Not all of it's art. A lot of it is not art. A lot of it is garbage. But so too is a lot of things on television I don't want to watch. The question is like, what is going to resonate with this human audience? Because it's not going to be the case that any kind of human virtual actor, because I've made them all through my career. I've made them in service to other stories and films and in games, all this stuff. They're not going to touch the hearts of human beings unless they're saying something compelling. Okay, maybe all of that could, in a sense, be synthesized, and maybe that there'll be a day where that can happen. But it's going to take an awful long time, in my view, to just because you have the ability to make a synthetic image of an actor. I was working on that 25 years ago. That is not new. The question is, what is the actor saying? Who's creating the words? And if you were to also just kind of put a visual effects filter on it, when we would make virtual actors, real actors were channeling the virtual vessel.
You've raised an interesting point that I want to put to Diane and to Simon there, which is the pace of this. Because the way that we have this conversation, AI is going to change everything rapidly. Diane, if you want to answer this first, how quickly is it changing, Diane, inside the industry?
It's a weird one because I feel like the change is going to be for good. I'm very interested in listening to other people's stories. I mean, for years we've been told what to watch through these big production companies. We've been told what to listen to with all of these different radio stations. And for people who have not had the ability to say their story because of budgeting or say their story because of other reasons, I feel like this technology is now enabling a lot of people to now start telling stories. And yes, we may be doing it at a fast rate, but I'm interested in that. I want to see what people's stories are. And I'm happy that my next door neighbor, who may have had an idea when they were, I don't know, 11 years old, can now bring that idea into reality and share that with their friends, or actually make something of it and show it in a theatre. So for me, I'm all for the change.
Simon, the pace of what we're seeing?
You know, I have conflicting ideas about this, because on one hand, I've run my own voiceover business parallel to my theater and film acting for about 5 years, and yesterday I sold my voiceover booth.
Oh, congratulations!
Because thanks. Well, it was good on one part, but it's mostly due to me not having as many voiceover jobs anymore. But then on the other hand, I've noticed a new type of client rising for me as a voiceover actor, and it's been a client that wants more of, I guess you could call it authenticity. Those types of jobs are also more fulfilling to me as an actor, whereas before I would maybe record instructional manuals. I'm not doing that anymore. Things are changing, and quite rapidly. This has happened I think this change has happened through 1 year.
So pretty quick there. You've seen the effects there because you're selling your business because of it. Can I come back to you, John? When we talk about AI in the creatives, we often talk about it replacing people, don't we? Whether it's actors, whether it's people in the music world. But where you work, it's got to be positive, hasn't it? AI, in terms of a lot of cinema is about effects, about what we see, and AI can really help with that.
If you go to my platform, escape.ai, a gratuitous plug, you will see many, many works of art, in my opinion. I would consider everything that Diane is making. Her superhero name is Afro Futcha. You can pronounce it better than me, I'm sure, Diane. But I love Diane's channel. But there are channels there that will really open up your imagination. There are new worlds being created by people. These are not conjured by machines. They're conjured by human authors. And they would not exist if not for these new tools and technologies.
On that point, do you understand that people get confused by that? They're not sure if it's created by Diane or whether it's created by AI.
No, I understand. And there, as I said before, there's going to be bad actors that just make, auto wallpaper, and they'll fill the internet with it. It will be, really creating a lot of noise and distortion. But the key is curation, right, of what has value, and, allowing people to, find those things of value. Because, again, the internet is filled with things that are just really there to, distract and to fill meaningless time. But there are remarkable works by real people. This is a new day. I mean, I'm not sure people in the audience may not realize it, but, back to the question of the pace of things are moving extremely fast.
Dan, clearly John thinks you're a good actor because he admires your work. You're also an educator. When you're talking to those young kids coming into the industry, how much are they embracing AI? Give us examples of what you're seeing there.
Well, it's a mixture, actually. It's not just young kids. I've taught adults, and I've actually taught the elderly as well. And it's interesting because everybody's super, super excited about the tech and what they can create. And what I found was not only is it a tool that you could use to express yourself with, but across the board, I've seen it also become therapy for a lot of people, especially those who were in the elderly range. Also, with some of the courses that I've taught, a large majority of these people are the same people who are writers and directors and screenwriters, etc., etc. So they're already coming from the industry, and they seem to do the best work because they already have the skill, so they already know the language to use and how things should look. So across the board, there's excitement, but there's also fear. So those same people who work in the industry who now want to adopt it don't want to tell their friends because they're scared that their friends may shun them, which was something that I've also noticed. So it's like a dirty secret to some people.
Simon, a dirty secret to you?
No, it's not a dirty secret at all for me using AI. In some ways, I've lost some opportunities to AI, but in other ways, I've benefited hugely. As an actor, I'm also an independent, like solo entrepreneur, and I feel like the benefits I'm getting from AI are giving back the same resources that might have been taken away. For example, if I'm negotiating contracts, before I would have to pay an expensive lawyer to look through the contract, or if I am sent a script, I can have an unbiased opinion on that before I get back to the director. So, I mean, I feel it's also empowering me in a lot of ways and opening up my mind to new possibilities. In the end, I feel like creativity and expression is about decision making. And as long as the decisions I'm making are rooted in my own life experience, it doesn't matter if AI has put and laid out the cards on the table for me, because that's how I use AI. I use AI to provide examples of how I can go about my work, not to make the decisions for me. The decisions are for me to make, and I'm going to be continuing doing so.
It's a fascinating conversation about the impact that AI is going to have, not just on the creative industry, but on all industries. And it's one that we're going to continue to bring you on OS. Often it is quite negative. People naturally very worried about how it's going to impact on their jobs. But as we heard there from John and from Diane and Simon, there are positive aspects to it, and it can help to make an industry more equitable, not just about money, as Diane was saying there. Still extremely busy in the BBC newsroom around us at the moment. I'm sat on this small desk with a couple of microphones in front of me. Adam, the producer, making sure that everything runs smoothly. Don't worry, if it doesn't, we can blame him for it all rather than anybody as well. And Luke is upstairs along with the rest of the team overseeing everything. We will be back with you after the news.